Welcome back to another installment of the Basics. On today's show, I'm going to take you into the X-Files CCG and give you an example of what a typical turn looks like. Now, unlike other card games, the X-Files CCG has many steps involved in just one turn. You're looking at 7 different phases of a turn, and I'm going to show you what those phases are and what you do during those phases. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Because the X-Files card game is more of a detective type game where you're deducing and you're using the different cards in your arsenal to figure out your opponent's X-File card itself, there's a lot to do in this game. The first step, and I'm playing this obviously by myself just to give you an idea, but I'm showing you as if maybe we're 2 or 3 turns into the game. So you start with the briefing phase, and that's where you draw cards to 10 in your hand. So you go to your bureau deck, which is always on the left side, and I'm going to add 3 cards to my hand because I already have 7 there. The next step would be the healing phase. So any agents you have in your hospital, which is over here, underneath your X-File card and next to your tokens. And I'm using a pile of dimes as tokens right now, not that I need them. Because I don't have any agents in my hospital, we're only 3 turns into the game, so they haven't been beaten up. I don't have to worry about doing that. Requisition is the next stage, and this is where you go through your hand to see if you have, say, equipment cards that you need to get out. Now, I just happen to have equipment cards, so I'm going to play laptop computer on Inspector Green to give her some help in identifying the problem and moving the game along. Deployment, I don't have any other agents in my hand. As you can see here, there's no agent cards, so I already have them deployed. I did that in the first couple of turns, so I can skip that phase and go right to case assignment. Now, case assignment means you're going to be putting down a site card, which is where your agents are going to work and establish clues and use their equipment to solve the mystery of your opponent's X-File. So I'm going to put down Baltimore, Maryland as my site, and that's going to kick that off. The second last stage of the turn is the investigation. So I'm not going to do the whole thing because I don't have an opponent here, but in this case, this is where you would put your investigating agent to the site. You would take the equipment with it to that site. You would play cards in your hand that are relevant, like an event card or a combat card if your opponent's already trying to kick the crap out of you. And then once you're done investigating that site, and if you meet the requirements, that card will go into your discard pile next to your bureau deck. Debriefing is the final stage of the turn. You can get rid of up to 3 cards in your hand. I'm not going to because I'm not actually playing anybody, but basically I can take any 3 cards in my hand. And this works especially if you have an accidental amount of event cards in your hand that you've drawn from your deck. Because let's be honest, when you shuffle your deck at the beginning of the game, it doesn't always work out. This is what you'd want to do on the discard phase, is get rid of those extra event cards. If anything, you need more equipment in your hand than anything else. That'll help you move the game along. Okay? So it's as simple as that. 7 phases, all in one turn. You might think it's a lot, but it's actually a pretty fun game. Now, there's not a lot of people that play the X-Files card game, and the length of the turn is one reason. The other fact being that when the game came out in the mid-90s, it didn't have as successful as a run as other card games, even though there was a lot of fans of the X-Files like myself that got into it a couple times. But that notwithstanding, most of the people that don't play it mainly don't play it because of the length of turn. Whereas Magic, the Gathering, or Star Trek card game, the turns are actually quicker than what you'd think. The X-Files card game, a typical turn can last many minutes. So be prepared for that. Anyways, that's all for today's show. I'll have more CCG stuff for you in the next installment of the Basics. Have a great day.